And the Virginia Tech defense, an outstanding front four, including the brothers Lewis, Kevin, the older brother,
Want to go back,
Manning, McKee, and Robinson. The linebacker core, Hall, Williams, Crawford, and Green in the secondary. They're playing without Darnell Wilds, who injured a knee during the 10-day break between games. There's Bud Foster, the defensive coordinator. He's been on the staff since the late 80s, has been the coordinator for 9 years now.
Yeah, I think he's been around in about 17 years. He's an institution at Virginia Tech.
Out of the shotgun with K.J. Harris and Quincy Wilson. Next to Marshall. A lot of the players just stopped. There are flags with no whistles, and the pass is completed to Travis Garvin at the 30-yard line. The entire offensive line just stayed over the ball. But the pass was completed for a 14-yard gain. I'm not sure I've ever seen anything quite like that before.
No. I mean, they stayed over there until the ball was blown dead.
They were all in their stances, like they didn't realize
hey,
the ball had been
I'm not
snapped.
getting caught for moving. Don't even think about it.
Defense. Penalties decline. Third down.
That's pretty impressive there. This is offensive line. You know, their offensive line coach, they don't want to get penciled out.
Don't watch the ball. Just look. The line never moves. They never move.
And what a heads-up hard by Marshall, too, huh?
Good alertness by the rest of them. West Virginia with movement again. Again, the offensive line stays in place, and this pass is incomplete. On 3rd and 6, it might become 3rd and 1. Chris Henry, the intended receiver, the throw too high. What is going on here? That's a good question, Frank. Once again, after the movement by Virginia Tech, the West Virginia offensive line never came up out of their stances.
Obviously, the defensive line's listening right now to the bark. I mean, you'll see it here. They don't move. This group here, offensive line, they're just going to say, stay put.
Well, it looked like the center, snapped at the moment he saw movement.
5 penalties for 40 yards. They average 43 yards per game in penalties. A little more than midway through the quarter, Virginia Tech almost to its per game average. Rasheed Marshall keeps on 3rd and 1 and has the first down.
All right, Craig, let's go back to this spread offense for a moment, what they do here at West Virginia. Rich Rodriguez had this thing at Tulane, and then he had it at Clemson, and they spread people out and they throw the ball. They don't really throw it anymore. They just kind of pound people now.
And he says that's a misconception that you have. You go no huddle, and you're just trying to give the ability for yourself to go fast tempo if you want to, but they will run the football.
Quincy Wilson, you mentioned it goes back to his stints as an offensive coordinator at Tulane Clemson. It actually goes back to his days as a head coach in NAIA. Rich Rodriguez played here at West Virginia, was a defensive back for Don Nehlen, got a head coaching job at age 24. He was coaching at Salem College, was an assistant. The head coach left. They made him the head coach. He was all excited. They went out and played one season, had a good year, and had just about everybody coming back. Marshall dumps it off near side. And close to another first down. They do have it as Josh Bailey goes out of bounds. That is the first reception by a tight end or fullback for West Virginia this year. They don't throw to the tight ends and fullbacks very often.
Go back to your story. I want to hear more of this.
Rich Rodriguez, we have a good year. Now I'm 25. I've got a team that's rolling, Salem College. He gets a call one day to come in and meet with the athletic director, and the news that's not going to be good for the program. The news was they were dropping the program. A university in Japan had purchased the college and was dropping a number of sports, including football. So Rich came back here as a volunteer assistant under Don Nehlen and made money by teaching driver's ed at a high school about an hour away.
Until about 1 o'clock.
Yes, and then he come here. And then he went back into NAIA coaching at Glenville State, where he had a great run for 7 years. And then went on to join Tommy Bowden at Tulane. But he has had an interesting career path, to say the least. On 2nd and long, a good throw by Marshall. Escaping is Chris Henry. First down, West Virginia to the 38-yard line of the Hokies. A gain of 12. Henry's their leading receiver for the year, and he has just 11 catches coming in. They haven't had much success through the air.
Look at Henry. He comes back. He works to the inside. D'Angelo Hall's not seeing the game. He's not matching up.
You know, I think D'Angelo Hall has just gotten accustomed to the fact that people ignore him. He's
lazy right now.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's a great corner. He hasn't been tested most of the season, and now they're going after him early in the ballgame. He didn't expect that.
3 receivers and the lone back. Wilson with a lot of running room. Flag down. Probably for a hold at about the 20-yard line. Wilson goes down near the 3-yard line. But it looked like there was a hold at about the 20 to 22-yard line. And it was Chris Henry, it appeared, the wide receiver, and he's getting an earful now from Rich Rodriguez.
And he didn't have to do it. He did not have to do it. Quincy Wilson was into the secondary, and given the way he runs, Craig, there was a pretty good chance.
The offense, 10-yard penalty, spot on the foul, still first down.
That was interesting. D'Angelo Hall going over and chatting with Rich Rodriguez. Wonder there'd been some talk back and forth between the sideline and Hall.
Now watch him get into the open here.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. You're right about that, because with his power, he's going to one-arm it, stiff-arm it, run him over or something, but they are definitely going at D'Angelo Hall. And how about the eyes and the visions and the patience of Wilson in the backfield? He let him over-pursue, which is an aggressive defense right now, and he cut back.
From the spot of the foul, so it's first down and 4 for West Virginia at the 32-yard line. 4.5 left in the opening quarter. No score. Each team has moved the ball on its first drive. K.J. Harris, the backup to Wilson. He delivered a stiff arm to Eric Green, and another flag thrown downfield. Harris out of bounds at the 14-yard line.
Wow. And K.J. Harris, he's a load coming through there. He's about 240 pounds, a little different from Quincy Wilson, but he can run. He's got good speed, too.
And this flag, as you could hear from the roar, is against Virginia Tech.
Personal foul, face mask, against the defense, half the distance to the goal line, first down.
They say 240 pounds, but we had lunch with him yesterday and a couple of these teammates, and I think after he left lunch, he went to about 243.
You gained a couple, too,
hey,
friend.
I tell you what, he got a little face mask of Eric Green on that play, too, and stiff-armed him.
He ate a bunch of fried shrimp, I know that.
He might have been 240 when they weighed in at the beginning of the year. First and goal, West Virginia. Harris bounces outside, touchdown! Excellent block on the corner by the tight end, Ryan Thomas. Helped Harris go around the corner untouched.
This was a football team who came in here ready to play tonight. I'm talking about West Virginia. They've been through it. I mean, there's just something right to say about being battle-tested.
Well, and you know something? They overcame penalties on that drive as well. A long drive. That's pretty impressive.
A 10-play drive. They were helped by Virginia Tech penalties. Brad Cooper adds the extra point. K.J. Harris, the junior from Tampa. Former minor league baseball player in the Texas Rangers organization. It's a home run. It's 7-0. K.J. Harris, the touchdown, capping a 90-yard drive for this West Virginia offense that has struggled through much of the year. They're at or near the bottom in many offensive categories in the Big East. K.J. Harris capped the drive with a 7-yard run. Brad Cooper to kick off to Mike Emo and Cedric Humes. Rich Rodriguez talked about the importance of a good start. You have a raucous crowd that wants to get behind this team. They have reason to believe right now that was an impressive drive by WVU. And a good kick by Cooper. Humes takes an knee. Brian Randall and the Hokies offense coming back on the field. They'll have the ball for the second time when we come back. 7-0 West Virginia. Trying to hand number 3 Virginia Tech its first loss of the season. The Hokies roll into Morgantown at 6-0. Moved the ball effectively on their first drive before Brian Randall threw an interception. Randall leading the option. Nice cut. And he's tripped up right along the first down line at the 30, tripped up by Leandre Washington.
Let's go back to the touchdown. Watch your right side. You saw the defensive line crash down inside, Craig, and that lets him get outside.
And Hall, number 4's got to fill that hole. He's kind of sat there and waited on him. He's got to get up in there. He allowed the bounce to take place.
The defensive ends for Virginia Tech really like to crash down inside, so West Virginia will bounce things outside, especially Harris.
There's a first down for Randall and Virginia Tech. Play action fake and a completion to Justin Hamilton. The sophomore out to the 44-yard line. A 14-yard gain. Let's head down toward the sideline and welcome in Sam Ryan. Hi, Sam.
Hey, Sean, you guys have been mentioning hostile environment. Well, Morgantown police have taken measures trying to prevent any type of post-game disturbances here in Morgantown, which is quite familiar with street fires. There have been more than 900 since 1997. So earlier in the week, they went around rounding up any type of bonfire-type materials, such as couches, which you can see are quite popular this time of year. They've also added extra officers in the stands. Keep in mind, they played in Blacksburg last year. A goalpost came down here, guys.
That's right. After the game, which was in Blacksburg, students ran into this stadium, ripped down the goalpost. They set couches on fire all over Morgantown. That is unfortunately a tradition.
Yeah, that's the way
here at West Virginia University. They light bonfires, and all week long, the fire chief and his people have been confiscating couches left on porches.
How do you get a tradition of burning couches?
Well, and on a cold day like this, why do you have your couch on the front porch? You know, why are you outside on a couch? Couch is for the living room.
This is a spirited rivalry. They're about 5 hours apart, these two universities. Bad pitch by Randall. It's on the ground and smothered for a moment by Richard Johnson. Then he lost it. And Mike Lorello has it for West Virginia. Second turnover for Virginia Tech, and Randall's been involved in both of them.
Watch the pressure from the inside out. Watch the attack on the quarterback, forcing the pitch. Beautiful job of making the pitch occur, and Jones took his eyes off of it.
Yeah, that ball was a little bit behind him, but you know, you're right. You gotta be focused on the ball. It was a bad pitch because it happened very fast, like you said.
Kevin McLeod, 43, came up, smoked Randall, forced the pitch, and you've got to be prepared as a pitch back for the early chunk.
Johnson had it for a moment, but couldn't hang on to it. Lorello came up with it. First and 10 from the Virginia Tech 36. They want to strike quickly. Marshall down the seam. Is that a catch? Yes, it is. And an acrobatic one by Torrey Johnson. We mentioned their tight ends didn't have a catch the whole year. Now they have two.
Oh, boy. They had their choices on the play action down the middle to Johnson. They also had a wide-open receiver on the right side. And Johnson, look at that effort. That's Kellen Winslow-esque.
That's the catch that hurt them in Miami.
Yeah.
But hey, you know, you talk about an over-aggressive defense at Virginia Tech, and Rasheed Marshall showing a lot of vision and poise right now.
West Virginia.
They've had difficulty throwing the football this year. He's completed under 50% of his passes. There was some confusion with the signals, apparently. And that's the reason why West Virginia used a timeout. Sure, they didn't want to use the timeout there. They had everything going in their favor.
Rodriguez, you know, I enjoyed him. We meet coaches every week. And his enthusiasm, his obvious passion for his alma mater, and that tempo, that up-tempo offense, them going to the line of scrimmage, and I think it's working right now.
I think you're absolutely right. It is working. I think Virginia Tech is a little bit off their game. They're surprised by what they're seeing, the tight ends, the bounce outside, and I think the crowd. All those three things, I think, have hurt them so far.
I just think the last thing West Virginia wanted was a timeout when they had the crowd rocking and they were moving and everything working in their favor, and a Virginia Tech team that is a little bit rattled right now.
I believe that before this game started, Virginia Tech thought they were going to pound West Virginia.
I don't think there was any risk of them looking past this game. At least they said all the right things when we talked with the players and coaches. They lost to this West Virginia team last year at home. They saw West Virginia come within an eyelash of beating Miami. There's Wilson inside the 5. They'll mark him down at the 5-yard line. First and goal, West Virginia looking to go up by 2 touchdowns.